Now to judicial matters. Supreme Court on Tuesday reserved judgment in the appeal by Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State seeking to affirm his election, which the Court of Appeal nullified in November last year. The appeal also challenges the election of Sheriff Obowori as the Governor of Delta State, which the Apex Court has also reserved its judgment. Correspondent Cleojo reports that the 5-member panel of justices of the Apex Court, led by Justice John Inyangokoro, reserved judgments in the 2 appeals to a date that would be communicated to the parties after the adoption of their briefs in the matter. At the hearing of the appeal on Tuesday, the Supreme Court had arguments from lawyers representing the parties in the case, and they adopted their briefs of argument. The court reserved judgment to a date that will be communicated to the parties. The Supreme Court is expected to deliver a verdict on the matter before January 16, when the appeal will expire. Similarly, the court reserved judgment in an appeal against the election of Sheriff Obowori as the Governor of Delta State. The Court of Appeal in Lagos had in a judgment affirmed the election of Sheriff as the Governor of Delta State and dismissed the appeal filed by Ovio Mwagege, the governorship candidate of All Progressive Congress in Delta State. The appellate court dismissed Omwagege's appeal for lacking merit. Some of the counsels expressed their feelings regarding the hearing and hope for favorable judgment.
That is what we have always canvassed from the tribunal, and the tribunal agreed with us that the matter is a pre-election matter. We cited all authorities as held by the Supreme Court to show that this particular petition is predicated on pre-election issues, nomination, invalid sponsorship. And then you can also hear the court asking questions on lack of structure. And the opinion, the law is very straightforward, as in Oni versus the Oni case. Before
this court, whether the High Court has jurisdiction to have made the order it made that time was never brought before the Supreme Court. And there was no appeal has come to this court from the Court of Appeal from the same judgment, and the Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal. The appeal went from the High Court to the Court of Appeal, from Court of Appeal to Supreme Court. Supreme Court dismissed the appeal.
In the appellate courts, your case is made out not so much by what you say in court on the day of hearing, but more by the arguments contained in your brief of argument. And we filed this brief of argument very comprehensive, very detailed, very exhaustive, and all-encompassing. It gave us the platform to marshal our arguments